Hello and welcome to Taste of Torrance. I am your host, Kirk Lyons. Right now, I am inside the Del Amo Fashion Center on the lower level, just outside of Joanne. I'm standing in front of Churro Buzz Coffee Bar. Now, if you live in LA, there's no doubt you've had a churro or two. But it's my guess you've never had one quite like this, or heard a story like this. Let's go check it out. You must be Jay. Nice to meet you, Kirk Lyons.
Kirk, nice meeting you.
Well, I think straight out of the gate, we have to tell everyone that this is not your first churro shop, nor your first churro shop here in the South Bay, correct?
Correct, yeah. We have two at the Redondo Beach Pier.
Okay.
Which we started about 28 years ago.
Okay, so wait a minute. You've been doing churros for 28 years.
Correct, yep.
Okay, so you have mastered the churro, safe to say.
Absolutely, yes.
Right, so now you come to Del Amo Mall, you open up your third store. Tell me what differentiates this store from the Pier stores?
Well, Pier being a very small store, only 300 square feet, we could only do churros, which we call classic churros. But here, we were able to introduce a high-end coffee bar as well.
Okay.
As part of doing we expanded the menu as well.
Let me ask you, how do you expand a churro menu? Because I'm old school. I know a churro to be a churro. Maybe you dip it in something. How do you expand a churro menu?
So we decided to look at the younger generation and what they were going into. So we designed a churro boat. So it's almost like a taco, and we can do fillings in it. So we can fill this boat with either banana, Oreos, marshmallows. So you name it, we can fill it. Then we would put whipped cream on top, drizzle it with Nutella, chocolate, and caramel sauce.
You're a very smart man because you probably also created Instagram opportunities, I would imagine, right?
That's my wife's idea, to get into Instagram and obviously,
Okay, well then you have a very smart wife. Let's leave it at that.
She is the brains behind this business to begin with.
Oh, you're a good man.
Yep.
You know exactly what to say. I tell you what, can we go make some churros?
Of course.
That would be great. I'm not a churro expert, but here's what I know about churros. So I think first and foremost, the shape of it is so important because those ridges, they're not just there for looks, correct?
Correct. Yeah, it gives the crispiness to the churro. It has to be lightly crispy, plus it holds the cinnamon sugar in place. So, yeah.
Otherwise, it slides off and it just winds up on the plate.
Correct.
Okay. Now the dough itself. Typical churro dough is what's known as a pâte à choux. Okay, are you using a pâte à choux style recipe here?
No, we don't.
Okay.
We have our own recipe. I can only tell you it's a combination of different flour, and after that, that's about all I'm going to give you.
Well, okay, so speaking of the recipe and the formula here, your wife, Perrin, is a huge part of it, as is all of your employees.
Of course.
Right? Yes. Now, your longest tenured employee is actually right here. This is Tani.
Yes.
Tani, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Now, Tani, let me ask you, how long have you been with Jay and Perrin making churros?
28 years.
28 years making the same food stuff, right?
Yes.
Wow. I mean, my first question is, does that ever get boring?
No, not at all when you love your job. When you're just involved in your job and you love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I can tell you've got a lot of love for this job. And I mean, tell me, what in 28 years, how has your churro making changed? I mean, you must have learned things just by the process, correct?
Correct. And then the process is easy, and then even when we had different kind of flour, something, you know the difference at the moment.
Just by touching it or looking at the flour.
As soon as I look at the flour, I know the difference. How is the churro going to be good or extra good?
Well, there's a saying that says, it takes 10,000 hours to master something. You've put in much more than 10,000 hours. So I would imagine that with churro making also becomes churro eating, correct?
Correct.
You sampled your share of churros.
I had to try for 28 years. Every time when I make my churros, I'm the first person who tried the churros.
You're so svelte. How do you do that?
That's the secret. Churros, you want to be skinny, get a lot of churros, my friend.
That's awesome. All right, well listen, I think it's time for me to taste some of these churros because we've talked about it enough. Can
Yes.
we do that?
Yep.
Great.
We can.
All right, well, the best part of the show is upon us, and that is the tasting portion of the show. But before I do that, this is the lovely Perrin.
Yes. My lovely wife.
That's right. Your husband spoke very, very fondly of you and called you the brains of the operation. Thank you for having
Just
us.
meet him too.
Okay, I'm sure, but he was being very humble. So let's get to this. First, I want to try. What do we have here?
That's a caramel frappe.
And what goes into that?
So a shot of espresso, caramel sauce, a little bit of lechera, and of course ice and whipped cream.
Oh man, summertime. That's got to be in the mix for summer. And here we
Yes.
have. This is your affogato, correct?
Yeah, this is affogato with soft serve ice cream, espresso, chocolate sauce, and a churro.
An Italian dessert.
Yes.
Well, you really did go sort of off the rails here, didn't you?
Yep, we did.
Oh my
You
goodness.
take a bite of the churro. because-
Oh, I will. Oh, I will, Perrin. That is delicious. Wow. I have to tell you, this is much different than your average ballpark churro.
And it is. Yeah.
Right? I mean, first what I'll say, it's a little heavier, it's a little denser, but in a really, really good way. And then the inside, a little bit more of a chew or a
Chewy.
pull to it,
Yeah.
as opposed to something that dissolves in your mouth.
Right.
I love the affogato. That is fantastic. Okay, this over here is your sundae, correct?
Yeah.
All right. And, you know, aside from doing churros and coffee drinks, you also have soft serve ice cream here.
Correct.
And I want to kind of go right into that because I am a soft serve freak. I love it. Great.
And that's with fruity peppers.
Oh yeah, it is. That's a blast back to my childhood. That is delicious. And really good, very
Take a bite
creamy,
of the churro.
very vanilla forward, soft serve. Delicious. Now this over here is our crown jewel. This was the churro boat.
Yes.
And what I can see here is almost like you took a churro and opened it up and made it flat, but then curled it and fried it that way. And you know what's inside?
Bananas, Nutella, and whipped cream.
Bananas, Nutella, and whipped cream. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna get in there and go for it. Oh man. Oh my. That's great. That is great. I mean, the classic flavor of the churro combining with the classic combination of bananas and Nutella, perfect. It's amazing. I mean, it's ingenuitive. It's delicious, and I'm gonna be finishing that after we're done here. Speaking of which, my time here is up. But once again, thank you for joining me on another episode of Taste of Torrance. I'll see you next time. It was great.